unreal. Right, 4th place. It has to be United.
And 3 consecutive home defeats for Manchester United.
Nottingham Forest, who remain in 15th spot.
Level with Arsenal. They're looking up only at Liverpool.
4th, I'm going Spurs. Big Angie's Spurs.
It is 11 defeats at this stage.
15th Chelsea.
Chelsea, as you can see, are up to 2nd.
What?
No matter what club you support, we can all agree this has been the weirdest Premier League season ever. This is not your ordinary season. This is not a season where there's a clear juggernaut steamrolling everyone, where the smaller clubs lie down on their backs and take beatings from big clubs, and it's certainly not a boring season. The Premier League has become a true English war ground. Clubs that are known for selling players are now the highest spenders in the league. Teams that were expected to get relegated are dreaming of a title. Clubs that used to be on top are now shells of their former selves. And most notably, nobody knows what's going on. But to try and understand the mess of a brilliant Premier League season this has been, we have to go back to the start. August 16th, 2024. This was the last day where every single fan still had hope. People dared to dream. Some lied to themselves, convincing their hearts that this year would be different. But as the saying goes, it's the hope that kills you. From the very first game of the season, we could tell this was not going to be an ordinary season. And who else to kick off the season but Manchester United? Fresh off one of the greatest upsets in FA Cup history. A win in only the 2nd ever Manchester Derby final. They had just come off their worst Premier League season in history under Erik ten Hag. And let's not forget, they lost the same fixture this season before, but this time it was all different. 2-1, the final score. Manchester was red, at least for one day. And maybe, just maybe, there was a glimmer of hope for the Red Devils to turn it around this season.
Oh my goodness! Squidward!
Well, for United fans, this season hasn't felt like half a season. It's felt like half a decade. A new manager, your star player being frozen out and sold, a brand new system, players with high potential once again falling short. It's been all of the same of post Sir Alex Ferguson Manchester United. And I know it sounds crazy, but Manchester United, once kings of the league, are threatened to be relegated. But what if I told you that the great United possibly being relegated isn't even the biggest thing happening right now? There's another team in the Premier League doing something unthinkable. Nottingham Forest. Raise your hand if you had Forest finishing in the top half of the league this season. Now put it down because you're lying. Now raise your hand if you had them in a European spot. That's a trip to the psych ward. Now raise your hand if you had them in 2nd place. Well, if you bet that, you'd be a millionaire right now. Nottingham Forest isn't just in 2nd place. They've beaten and drew to Liverpool, and they're right there, sniffing the top spot. And like I said, dreams are becoming reality, but most importantly, it feels like history is repeating itself in a very glaring way. Everyone remembers Leicester City's great escape in 2015 and their miracle title run in 2016. Forest feels like they're channeling that same magic. And while yes, Nottingham Forest probably isn't going to win the Premier League this season, the fact that they're there, the fact that they're giving their fans something to really believe in, who are we, especially how the season's been going, wants to write off them. A little bit lower than Nottingham on the table is the mid-table, and I just have one thing to say. What even is the mid-table anymore? Almost half of the mid-table in the Premier League this season is legitimately good enough to play in the Champions League. You have players like Brian Mbeumo for Brentford absolutely looking class. Wolves' Mateus Cunha is putting in masterclasses week after week. Aston Villa, Brighton, Fulham, I could go on and on. Every team is stacked with talent, playing attractive football and pulling off results that make you double take. The only certainty is that the gap between the top 6 and everyone else is shrinking fast. Going back to the top 6 and talking about just how crazy this Premier League season is, you have to talk about Manchester City. What on earth is happening? They've gotten results in recent weeks that has somewhat made people forget, but how can you forget what just happened? Erling Haaland, De Bruyne, Phil Foden, the player of the season, Pep Guardiola, what some consider to be the best manager of all time. 4 games, and 5 games, and then 6 games, dropping points. Pep Guardiola's side has collapsed in ways that no one predicted. They're conceding goals left to right. As I'm recording this, they just dropped points to Brentford, 2-0 up. Now, City have seen this and they said enough is enough. They've gone out and spent a ton of money in the January transfer window. And speaking of a team in the top 6 that has spent a ton of money, who else but Chelsea? Last season, everyone laughed at Chelsea. The spending, the constant upheaval, but look at them now. The pieces are starting to fit, and I mean wow. Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo. Is there a better midfield in the league today? Chelsea has also been dropping points recently, again to really great mid-table squads. I promise you, if you look back to all the predictions before the season and the betting odds, Chelsea were in 8th, 10th, 12th. Next season though, Chelsea could be playing in the Champions League. In what video talking about the crazy Premier League season that we've been having would you not mention Liverpool? Now, I will say, if Liverpool win the league this season, it will be one of the most unprecedented wins in history. Of course, Liverpool aren't no underdogs. They have great players such as Salah, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold. But be so real for a second. Did you have Liverpool winning the league this year? They just lost their legend, Jurgen Klopp, the man that brought them back from the depths of hell. Mind you, they spent zero. Everyone said before the season started, if City don't win it this season, then Arsenal's time to shine is now. But nope. Arne Slot's penitentiary has taken over. Unless this crazy season has one more thing for us, it looks like Liverpool are going to win their 20th title. The Premier League is in chaos, and it's glorious. Giants are falling, the underdogs are rising, and every single match feels like it could rewrite the script. This season's one for the history books, and we're only halfway through. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride.